Okay, here's the steering wheel. I kind of took a wet wipe and just kind of wiped it down. Over here is where the back side is, and turning up the front, we have, you can see here as we work our way around, it's torn, it's beat up. There, all over here, it's really peeling there. So unfortunately, like, it's not the best looking steering wheel, but there are ways you can do things with it. Well, one, this is the Acura 2003 black steering wheel for the Type S. And so it has the little A emblem in the middle. And the steering wheel a little thinner around the spokes here. But Honda in Japan made the Honda Integra Type R and Type S, as well as the EP3, the Honda Civic EP3, and that one has a Momo steering wheel, and so it's very similar to this, a little bit more performance. The grip is a little bit better, better leather, and it says Momo right here. And so a lot of people will buy one of those steering wheels. I might eventually, but for now, there's a solution: is you can wrap this existing steering wheel, this beat up one, with kind of a leather cover, and it looks pretty legit. So I'm actually curious what that's like, because I've never done it before, and so that's what I want to do today. People that own a Type S, an Acura Type S, or an Acura RSX in general, the US versions at least, have these dials here, cruise control. And there's like in your engine bay, there's a throttle cable and then a cruise control cable that connects to your throttle body. And so that's why those two wires and one hooks up into this. This is the electrical for it. I think the cruise control motor's in the kind of underneath or within the covers of the windshield wipers. And so what you could do, if you get one of those steering wheels, because the Japan ones didn't come with cruise control, you could actually unbolt this piece, these two screws here, and then there should be those screws on the Type R or Type S steering wheel, Momo steering wheel itself, and you can put it back on. We don't have to do that today because I'm going to try to wrap it, and so we'll see what that looks like. Before I wrap it, first things you should do, or first thing I'm going to do, is just kind of take a little alcohol here, or hydrogen peroxide, 3% dilution, and I'm just going to wipe it, because you're pretty much, what I'll show you in a second, we're going to prep. This is just prepping the surface. I'm wiping it now, and I'm going to let it dry. Because once you do this, once you wrap the steering wheel, there's really no reason to kind of take it apart unless you're not using it anymore. And so it's really the last time we're going to see this exterior surface here. So just wipe it down, make sure you get all the dirt, because you're going to use one of their adhesive tapes to go around this section here. So you just want to make sure it's clean, removed from any kind of like stickiness, and then we'll go from there. You can see little black plastic bits coming off because the steering wheel is not in great condition, and it's just coming off. So you see all that dirt there and all these little, not breadcrumbs, but little plastic pieces here, debris. All right. Okay, so I'm gonna just put it in the paper towel, put that inside. And so while we let that dry, this is what I wanted to show you guys. It says professional customization just for you. Not sure about that, but it says Mu Art here, or Mu Anth. And what it is a kind of like a steering wheel cover that's permanent. And what I mean by that is that you can buy a steering wheel cover and put it around it, but there's a little gap, it's removable, all that good stuff. But this one here, which I'm going to show you guys, it's black leather. The material's pretty good. has red stitching. And the way the instructions are portrayed is you got to put it around the steering wheel, test fit it, line it up, and put a little tape, double-sided tape on it just to secure it in place. And then once it's in place, you're gonna, this instructions is demonstrating with the airbag on. I've already taken it off. So they have those little plastic things there. And then on this side, you're sewing it. You're pretty much sewing the inside so that it just kind of grips it firmly. And they show you like stitching patterns here and how you're supposed to do that and all that good stuff. It actually looks kind of complicated, but we're gonna try something new. So it gives you this kit here. So yeah, it gives you that plastic, I guess, removing tool or tucking tool. It gives you double-sided tape. It gives you red stitching to match the threads. Use some needles here. We'll look at that in a second. And let me just show you guys what you get when you get one of these covers. Got on Amazon. Got the leather one, so it's roughly around $60, but you can get this in the fake leather one for $30. I just wanted, I think the feel of the leather's a lot nicer, the real authentic leather, so that's kind of why I got it. But pretty much it's this one. It's pre-cut, made for the RSX USDM steering wheel. They recommend you not take off the existing black stitching from the old one because they've kind of measured it to fit that existing one. And here is it. And so pretty much it goes around. These are the sides. Has perforated leather here. The top one's just solid leather. Has red stitching there. And this is the bottom piece that kind of wraps around. So let's get started. Let me show you kind of what we're gonna do. So first, we're gonna test fit it. And I'm gonna work my way around the steering wheel and just kind of see what it does. And then once we test fit it, I'll take it off, put it on a time lapse. You guys can watch me install it as I like. It's gonna take me like probably a few hours to kind of get the thing going. Do a little sewing, maybe less, but I'm just accounting for room for error. So it's like a really tight fit. So you can see the, as I kind of try to get this snug on, just as a visual inspection, it's not on perfectly. But you can see the difference in the leather. Like the old one is kind of has that shiny feel to it. It's all also fading and whatnot, but this one has a kind of a darker gray. So that's what it's going to look like. If you guys can start to see it and imagine what it's going to be. And then what we're going to do is we're going to stitch it all together. It looks like it kind of fits. It's actually firm as we try to like kind of squeeze it through. You can see what it's going to look like. I'm curious how the stitching is going to look. A lot of people say that kind of there's not enough material here, so it has to look like a little baggy kind of style around this grip area here. Maybe because this part's not fat enough, but we're going to see what that ends up being. So yeah, let me go ahead and put it on time lapse, and you guys can see kind of the whole process. And we'll take a look at the steering wheel when it's in its more finished form. Alright, so it looks like we have kind of all the tape, the double-sided tape along the edges. It says that we should leave about 5 millimeters of space for the sliding part. And so I was okay with not kind of going over certain elements of it and not being as perfect, I would say. But we're pretty much done here. And I don't think we need to take the tape off quite yet, but we're going to put the steering wheel on it. We actually had a lot of extra double-siding tape. They probably gave us quite a bit just for extra. Some people in the reviews said that where it kind of bulks up, you can actually use the double-sided tape and kind of stuff it in there just to kind of build kind of extra layers. So we'll see what we run into when we get to that part there. But for the most part, you can see I've pretty much lined up the whole interior part of the steering wheel with with double-sided tape on the edges. The middle doesn't really need it. When I put it on, it was super tight. I don't think it's going to run into issues there. I think it's just for the stitching process. So let's get started. Let's bring the steering wheel over. Let's put it on. I'll put it on another time lapse and you guys can see kind of what I'll be doing there. Alright, so we have the steering wheel on, it's dry fit as you saw earlier. Double-sided tape is on. Now we're ready to just kind of tear off the tape and then just kind of paste it on. So we'll go ahead and do that and update you guys on what happens next. So work in progress. It's feeling pretty good. I'm only maybe about a fifth way there. So you can see that those haven't been stitched, but this has been stitched. So it looks pretty good, actually. Like, check that out. I mean, there's a little kind of curvature here. I think just natural formation of just kind of bending straight leather. But there's the back. I kind of used one of this here to just kind of tuck it in a little bit, but not all the way because I still got to do the other side. But I mean, no one's really going to see that side, but it looks pretty good even without. And I'm really working on this section now. It's still going to be a little bit kind of bowed, but I think it'll be fine. You know, I think maybe with time, the leather will just kind of push in, but we'll see. So I'm going to work on this side, kind of stitch through this entire top part up until I get to this last part here, and we'll go from there. But I think it looks pretty good so far. We'll see how the finished product turns out, but I'm doing the easy side first, so far so good. So we're pretty much finished with the steering wheel. So you can see the details here. So the stitching turned out pretty well. It took a while to kind of get it all together, but it looks like looks pretty good. And so, taking a step back, you can kind of see that it fills it up pretty well. The only thing is, I would say here, it kind of filled it in, didn't fill it in too much, it feels a little bumpy, but it's not bad for one of those kind of aftermarket wheels.